All right, so welcome to 6.6. We're going to be solving two-step equations today, but we're going to have fraction or decimal solutions. We did a little bit of this the other day in 6.5, but it's worth doing some more. All right, so solve the two-step equation, right? The constant on the same side that x is on is 6, so we're going to subtract 6 because it's being added, and we get 2x equals 1. Divide by both sides by 2, and there's the answer, 1/2. You could make that 0.5 if you really want to, but unless they ask for it as a decimal, you could say x equals 1/2. Now, that's weird. 9 divided by 2. Well, what I'm trying to get at here is if you have the answer 9/2, which is 9 divided by 2, 9/2 is a correct answer. But let's understand what 8/2 is. 8/2 is 4, so 9/2 is also 4, right? And then 1 extra half, so it's also that. But most people, when I put 9 divided by 2, they start doing this. They make a decimal. So 2 goes into 9 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Remainder 1. What do you do now? Decimal points straight up, 0 straight down. Yeah, it's also 4.5. But rather than do that, I would rather have you memorize that 4.5 or half is 0.5, always 5/10. Now, what's 10 divided by 3? Well, 10/3 is 10 divided by 3. That's a correct answer. Now, 9 in a math problem, because it's simplified. 9/3 is 3, so what is 10/3? It's 3 and 1/3. That's also a correct answer. And again, but most students, when they see that, they start doing this. Well, 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Remainder 1. Decimal straight up. 0 straight down. 3 into 10. 3 times 3 is 9. Remainder 1. Bring down a 0. 3 into 10. And you get 3's forever, also known as 3.3 repeating. Okay, now all of those are correct. But if you have choice, 10/3 is going to be the least amount of work. Yet, many students choose the decimal because they're scared of fractions. So that's what this day is about, to get you to stop being scared of fraction answers. All right, so we look at this example problem. It was subtract 9 from both sides. It was divide both sides by 4. And I got 7 divided by 4. But 7/4 is a correct answer, right? It's simplified. Yeah, if I have 14/8, that's not a correct answer, because that can be simplified. But 7/4 is a correct answer. Yes, also 1 3/4 is a correct answer. Also, you could do 7 divided by 4, or memorize the fact that 3/4 is 0.75, 75 cents. All three of those are correct. All right. So it says find the solution, which means find the answer, and express your answer as both a fraction and a decimal. So let's do that. Add 7 to both sides. 2x equals 19. Divide by 2. 19/2 is a correct answer. It is. 18/2 is 9, so 19/2 is 9, right? 18 divided by 2 is 9, so 19/2 is 9 and 1 extra half. And hopefully you've memorized that 1/2 is 0.5. It's also 9.5. That has all of those answers: fraction, mixed number, and decimal. Okay. Next. So we're adding 4 to both sides here. And we got a little room problem here. So I'm going to put 22 equals, whoops, what did I just do? Add 4 to both sides. I'm losing my mind. So let me fix that. I was thinking about something else clearly. So we're adding 3 to both sides. I'm not losing my mind. We're adding 3 to both sides, and so we get 21 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. I was thinking of the answer. That's what's going on there. So 21/5 is a correct answer. It's simplified. 20/5 is 4. So 21/5 is also 4 1/5. Now, let's get the decimal, right? So several ways we could get the decimal. If you haven't do that, turn 21/5 into a decimal. There's 2 ways to do it. First way, I'm cleaning that up, is you could do 21 divided by 5, which is what I bet most people did. 4 goes into 21, 5 goes into 21 4 times, remainder 1. Decimal straight up, 0 straight down, 5 into 10, 2, and it is also 4.2 is another correct answer. Or you could have gotten 4 and 1/5 and realized 4 and 1/5 is the same as 4 and 2/10, and since 4 and 2/10 is over 10, you can write it as a decimal, 4.2. All right, so all three of those were correct in the circle. 4 and 2/10 written that way is not correct because it's not simplified. Okay, so we're going to add 1 to both sides, and we get 8x equals 2. Divide both sides by 8. And 2/8 is not right. Why is it not right? Because we always have to simplify our fractions. So one correct answer is 1/4. Now it didn't say find the decimal here, all right? But if you know that 1/4 of $1 is 25 cents, you also know 1/4 is 0.25. But 2/8 cannot be right because it's not simplified. We're adding 9 there, so we're subtracting 9 from both sides. 10 equals -4x. Divide both sides by -4. Once again, -10/4 cannot be a correct answer because it's not simplified. I get -5/2. That's a correct answer. Also, if you had -4/2, that'd be -2. -5/2 must be -2 and an extra half. And if it's got a half in there, it must also be -2.5. All of those are correct. 1/2 is 0.5. 1/4 is 0.25. All right, 3/4 is 0.75, right? Quarters, 25 cents, 1/4 of $1. 50 cents, or half a dollar, 0.5. 75 cents is 3/4 of $1. This is especially true. You're used to, from 6th grade and 7th grade, having a lot of these end up coming out nice whole numbers, but that's not going to happen so much now and in high school. All right, and so you really want to get used to fractions. 13/3, perfectly good answer. 12/3 would be 4, so 13/3 is also 4 and 1/3. That'd be a perfectly good answer. But then, right, you want to, doesn't say make a decimal here, but students will do this. You'll sit there and go, well, 3 times 4 is 12, remainder 1, decimal straight up, 0 straight down, 3 times 3 is 9, remainder 1, and do all this extra work. It is 4.3 repeating. Now, if you had 1/3, 1/3 is always 0.3 repeating. If you have that memorized, great. But the easiest one is 13/3, as long as you're sure that it's simplified. Subtract 9 from both sides here. 4 minus 9 is -5. -5 equals -6x. Divide both sides by -6. Now, 2 negatives make a positive here, so you can't leave it that way. Cannot leave it that. 2 negatives, and so the correct answer here is 5/6. I would really just leave that. Why would you do anything else unless you're asked for a decimal? But if you foolishly try to go make it a decimal, you're going to have all these problems. All right, 6 doesn't go into 5, but 6 goes into 50 8 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Remainder 2, bring down a 0. 6 into 20, 3 times 6 is 18. Remainder 2, bring down a 0. 6 into 20, 3 times, and you get 3 forever. The other correct answer is 0.8 with 3 repeating. Okay, and way more work. Unnecessary. All right, so check to see if 7/6 is a solution, right? It really should say is the solution, right? Because there's only going to be one solution to this kind of equation. There are ones that don't have one solution. Now, so you could solve it and see if it is. 6x equals 7. You could do it that way, but that's not really what I'm after here. Let's just see. The solution is the one number you put where x is that makes it true. So let's do that. Well, the 6's cancel out, and you get, right, 6 times 7 is 6, right? Multiplying fractions, the 6's cancel, and you get 7. So 7 minus 3 equals 4. Yeah, that is the one and only solution for this equation. All right, so let's practice. So we're adding 7 to both sides. Negative 5x, negative 4 plus 7 is 3. Divide both sides by negative 5, and it is negative 3/5. Oh, it says make it a decimal. So now you're forced to make negative 3/5 a decimal. Now, the easy way is to put it over 10. And you're going to get negative 6/10, which is negative 0.6. The way a lot of students like, because they know it works, is 3 divided by 5. That does work, and you get 0.6. But remember, it's negative 0.6, or if you like the leading zero, negative 0.6. Add 8 to both sides, and negative 6 equals negative 9x. Divide by negative 9 both sides. Two negatives make a positive. Also, so it's 6/9, but you can't leave it that way because 6/9 is not simplified. The correct answer is 2/3, and 2/3 is a repeating decimal. You get repeating decimals anytime you have the 3 times table out there, if it doesn't come out as a whole number, right? When you have the 3 times table and most of the upper prime numbers, you're going to get repeating decimals unless you get whole numbers. You won't get terminating decimals. Not possible. So let's see this. So 3 doesn't go into 2, but 3 goes into 20 6 times. Remainder 2, bring down to 0, 3 into 20, you get 6s forever. And you might want to memorize that 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. All right, so we're going to write an equation here. So remember, we have blank times h plus blank equals the total. So car traveled 240 miles in 6 hours. We don't have a speed there. We need a speed for our, right? The speed has to go there. We don't know that yet. If it continues at the same rate, write and solve an equation to determine how long in hours it will take to travel 380 miles. Well, the total distance is 380 miles. Now, it's going 240 miles in 6 hours, which equals 40 miles per hour. So 40 is our rate. What's our constant here? How far has it gone already? Well, it's already traveled 240. Okay, so there's a constant. You know, this is not 100% clear, but you know that this is a unit about 2-step equation. So I want that 240 there because we're going to find how long in hours it takes to finish this. All right, so we're going to subtract 240 from both sides. Again, let me erase those lines that make it look like division when it's not. Okay, and so we're crossing that out, and we're getting 40h equals 140. Divide both sides by 40. Cross out these zeros. 14/4, right? 12/4 is 3. So 14/4 is 3 2/4, but you can't leave it that way. You have to simplify it to 3.5 hours. Word problems always have words. All right, so again, we're subtracting 12 here, not because of this plus, because it's a positive 12. And we get this plus 10x becomes a positive 10x. 27 minus 12 is 15. Divide both sides by 10. 15/10, definitely not simplified. We get 3/2, which is correct, which is 1.5, which is 1.5, right? Anytime you get a half, you get 0.5. All right, good luck on the homework.